Hello family, and a big welcome to my YouTube channel. Something has been on my mind lately. I've really been thinking about why is it that a lot of people that left their home countries to come to the diaspora are not so keen on going back home. I know there is a bit of a movement of people really relocating back home, but not a true reflection of the numbers that we would want to see on the ground. Not so many people are really keen on relocating back home. And I thought I'll make a video because I've been reflecting and thinking, why is it that a lot of people are not thinking about it? And I know when we left, we were chasing opportunities, better systems, and for our children and for ourselves as well. Some were chasing stability. But what is it that can change, or what are the changes that could really see a lot of people moving back home, not just to holiday, but to live, invest, and build their countries back home? So if you've been thinking about the same thing and you live in the diaspora, or you are in a different country altogether and you're thinking about it, then this video is for you, because we are going to be talking about some of the things that I really do feel if those things were to change back home, I would be one of the first people to really be keen on going back home to invest, rebuild, and really make a life back there. So without wasting much of your time, let's get right into it. For most young people, it really starts with systems. I know if someone is Zimbabweans, we've had this, or a country is built by its own people. However, for young people, that really poses a challenge. I'll speak for myself and for others that I have spoken to and had their views of. If you've got your own views, please do put it in the comments. And this video is nothing to do with anything political. It's just perspective and a fair discussion. Nobody really wants to be in a country where the healthcare system is non-functional. There's no electricity. There's no reliable transport system. And for people that would have experienced something better by living in the diaspora, when they go back home and those systems are not there, it's quite difficult for them to then make decisions to say, I want to relocate back home. And I know a lot of people will say, well, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of activity and development happening back home. But I'll give my own perspective. Most of those people who are really doing a lot back home are not the newbies in the diaspora. And I'm a newbie in the diaspora, still trying to find my feet, still trying to really get settled. Most of the people that are relocating back home are people who have been in the diaspora for a long time, people that have had savings, people that have had fulfilling careers, people that have started businesses and things like that. So for those people, it's quite easy, because when they go back home, they do have the capital to really start something, build maybe their rural retirement home, or they've been building towards that over the years. So it's a bit difficult for a lot of people. The majority of people are hardly making it in the diaspora, are hardly surviving in the diaspora. So for them to really then be asked to, why are you not relocating back home? You can literally go back home, build a rural home, put a borehole on, put solar electric and start a project. It's a bit difficult. For those seasoned people, seasoned diasporans, then it's quite possible, because some of them, you may realize that their children are gone, they've flown the nest. So it's just them, adults in the family home. They tend to save more. They've worked for a longer period of time, and they can actually start their own systems that work for themselves. Because I'm from Zimbabwe, and let's all agree, systems are not, when you compare them to what we've seen in the diaspora, and thank goodness for the diaspora, it has opened our eyes to really experience other things, experience technology, experience functional systems, so much so that when we decide we want to do something back home, probably we are bringing something that is better. We've experienced a system that works. We're thinking of so many things that we want to do when we go back home. And I do believe a lot of people do share the very same sentiments to say, when I go back home, I want to do this and this. I'll give a good example. I work in the healthcare sector. And one of the things that I'm always sharing with my colleagues who have never been to Africa, or who are curious to know about how things work in Africa, I always say to them, we do not really have adult social care services where you can literally have people looking after the elderly in the comfort of their home. So it will be something, because I know I've got elderly parents, and I know I'm going to age, I'm grow older. So it will be something that I'll be thinking along the lines to say, right, at some point, someone needs to introduce this in our country, in our communities, because it actually works. We have seen how it works with funding and proper people wanting to commit to it. It's a system that works. So living in the diaspora would expose you to understand how other systems can work, how functional systems should be. Same thing with people who would be in the transport industry. They have got a certain deep experience in that sector, and when they compare it to what we have back home, they've got these amazing, brilliant ideas that, given time and opportunity, they would really want to implement these things. For some people, relocating back home would be about opportunities. It's not really that we love winter so much or we love the changing seasons. That's why we live abroad. No, we are abroad because we were drawn by opportunities. We were drawn by how predictable opportunities were, how you could plan for the next 2 years, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, how you could explore and spread your wings and, be allowed to dream. That's how predictable the diaspora is. However, I've been thinking about it, what really could draw a lot of people to relocate back home. And I'm thinking for young people, and I'm thinking for the children that we have and that we are raising in the diaspora, what is it that our home country would need to do to attract that young talent? It's about opportunities. It's about an opportunity for them to dream and to know that their dreams do matter, and there is actually a safe space for them to really dream big and implement all their wildest dreams. You can imagine being in a society or in a system where your degree matter, in a system that if you've got a business idea, it would be given a chance to breathe, to live. That is what could draw a lot of young people that are living in the diaspora. They've got amazing ideas that they have. They've got amazing, beautiful experience. They've got brilliant skills that they have, that if opportunities were so predictable and so in plain sight where we come from, people would really be flocking back home. And also the other thing could be, how easy is it to access opportunities? I relocated when I was in my adult life, and I know for a fact, if you're watching this video and you're Zimbabwe, you know how difficult it is sometimes. Sometimes you would have done the very best that you can. You went to school, you worked so hard, you've earned that qualification, you've got all these skills. But it's not easy sometimes. If you're not connected, it might be nearly impossible for you to access certain opportunities. Same thing with, this is regardless with connections, could be through relatives, through friends, through political affiliation. It does happen, it's a fact. So what we're looking at, having lived in systems like where we are in the diaspora, where you don't need to know anybody for you to access a certain opportunity. You just need to prove yourself. Have you got the qualification? Have you got the right skills? Are you the right person for that opportunity? And then you can go for it. And you are given a chance in everything, a chance to upgrade, a chance to upskill, a chance to really give it a go at education. And this is for everybody. So these are some of the things that could really see a lot of people really buying into the idea of, I want to relocate back home. I want to give back home a chance whilst I still can, whilst I'm still young. At least that's how I view it. And that's the sentiment that I get when I speak to a lot of people. And just a few days ago, I put out a post talking about the changing curriculum in the UK. There is a curriculum that is supposed to come. And when you look at the things that it is focusing on, you can literally tell that already our children are being prepared for the future. But would they get the same opportunity if they were back home? Would they get the same exposure if they were back home? So those are the questions that we need to be asking ourselves. That's the best way in which we can contribute and in which we can understand those that are saying, well, I really do love my country. I want to relocate at some point back home. But at the moment, I would rather keep it on hold or gradually build towards relocating back home, because opportunities are a big thing, because we are young and we dream. We've got big, wild dreams, but we want that space that can offer those dreams a chance, a space to breathe, to live another day and become something. Imagine going back to that space or going back to a country that do actually have diaspora investment initiative programs. I know there is that in the real estate sector, but we would like to see all of that maybe in agriculture, in mining, in education, in the healthcare sector. Initiatives that are targeted at the diaspora community. And I'm not saying we are crying for special treatment, but I'm saying it's to attract those skills, to attract that personnel and that experience back home to come and help build whatever country that somebody would be coming from. The other thing that I'll be thinking, just imagine a community in which jobs actually value global experience. I've been speaking to people that studied in different countries, that studied abroad, where they would say, oh, my educational qualifications would not count. If I go back home, I would need to again write exams. I would need again evaluation, or I would need again to do maybe another 2-year course or whatever 1-year course. Is there not a way in which we can actually have programs that actually appreciate the skill set that people bring when they study or when they have worked abroad, especially in the job sector, to say, well, someone has worked under this system. Would that not be helpful for us? Would that not be beneficial in this setup that we have? So these are some of the things really that could draw diasporans to come back home and help in so many different sectors that we have. And it's my dream one day to see even our own Zimbabwe really look at the diaspora community and see how best can we get these people back and help in whatever area that they have. There's so much talent out there. There's so much experience. There's so much expertise out there that would really benefit where we come from. We cannot talk about returning back home without talking about reintegration. Moving back home, even from the diaspora, isn't just a physical move, but it's an emotional one. I've spoken to people that would say, well, I went back home and felt like an outsider. This is where you get labeled, or the diaspora one, or my diaspora, or this and that. All sorts of names comes with that. Even for you to go and want to get into certain spaces, the moment people look at your CV and they see all that experience from abroad, or they see that, oh, you've got qualifications from abroad, the attitude changes, the way you're viewed, the way the treatment really just changes. This is a two-way relationship, how it's going to work to really try and attract everybody to be coming back home. If only we could be building towards a welcoming society, a welcoming atmosphere when people do return home, support them, support integration, walk people through stuff. And I've been speaking to people that would have tried to relocate back home but are scared or are skeptical, or people that are still in the diaspora but want to invest back home. They'll tell you, if you're doing anything back home, make sure you don't let whoever you're dealing with know that you are in the diaspora, because even prices of the things that you want to buy, they change the moment they see a foreign number. Even the price list just changes. And I've been talking to people that are investing back home, people that are building back home. They'll tell you, now I've decided I'm going to deal with contractors or whoever is through emails. I don't call them, I don't WhatsApp them. It's because of all these things. I wish the environment could be so welcoming. There's so much that people want to do back home. There's so much that we can do as a community to really foster that two-way relationship. And also for those that are returning, I think it's about time that we is treating this whole relocation back home, this relocation movement as I've escaping the diaspora or escaping the red race, but instead of I am returning to build, because there's so much to do back home. There's so much to build where we left off. I've spoken to people that have been home recently. There's so many opportunities that are coming up. There's so much change where we came from. And we can also, as the diaspora community, bring change by bringing in new ideas, by bringing in our experience, by bringing in what we would have seen where we are at. So if someone is watching this video and they are in the diaspora, one of the things that I'm always encouraging people to do is, regardless of whatever role you are in, learn as much as you can, absorb as much as you can, learn the system, understand the system. At the back of your mind, always be thinking, how can I export these skills that I'm gaining? How can I bring something as brilliant as this back home where I came from? We all do not come from the big city, but we come from different villages and small towns. So you can imagine the experience, the exposure, the ideas, and everything that we could really take home and develop where we live in. I'll give you a very quick example, because I live up north in England and I live in a very small place. And having come from Zimbabwe, my idea of a village completely and totally changed when I came here, because the villages here are so different, well developed, electrified, good roads, bus service, nice, good schools. And above everything, they've nearly every other amenities that you can think of. And when I think of where I come from, little village in Ngwenezi, and I'm thinking, how best can we make it better as diasporans? And I know a lot of people that would come from the same area if only we can foster the same mentality, the same way of thinking, the same way of looking at things. This really could be a game changer. We can never talk about returning back home without speaking about how leadership contributes into this whole thing. Every great return movement starts with a leader that inspires hope, belief, and productivity. Why am I saying that? And by leadership, I'm not saying it has to be the head of state really spearheading this, but leadership starts from the grassroots, start from local authorities, start from government ministries, really looking at how many of our population is out there. And I think last time I had, because I'm from Zimbabwe, I'll give an example about Zimbabwe. We have over 3 million people living in the diaspora. That's a huge number. That's a significant number. And the last time I looked at the statistics, there was so much millions and millions in remittances that were coming from the diaspora going into home. What I can say is home cannot just be a place where we send money, but it should be a place that we purpose, hope, and really be that place where we are willing to raise our children and see our investments multiply. Why am I saying all this? I do hope someone will see this video. I do hope someone in leadership or in of influence will see this video and really give them a bit of homework to think about. So if one was a leader or is a leader and is looking at all these numbers and figures, they should really be thinking, how best can we attract these people? How best can we really build systems that become a magnet to really draw back all these people, all these ideas, all the investment really full circle. And this is what it takes to build a great nation. And we do hope all in due time, all in due course really, would see nations where we come from really rise through inclusion, through initiatives such as these, where you are attracting talent, you are attracting your own people, because much of this cannot be possible without the people themselves. So it's what we hope to see. It's what we hope really should be thinking seriously about if they are looking at attracting the diaspora community. At the end of the day, people don't necessarily return back home for comfort, but instead, above everything, for connection with our roots. And one thing that I've seen across the diaspora divide, regardless of where one is, one of the biggest things that they long for is connection to their roots. No wonder why we are consistently talking on social media, especially about what is it that we can do back home, about visiting, how many times you want to visit back home, how many times have you been. We are always longing for that connection. In as much as we are here and there's so much else that we enjoy and everything, home is always our longing place. Why am I saying this? People want to be a part of something that is meaningful. They want to be a part of that society that sees them, that values them, that gives them an opportunity to really dream and see their dreams flourish. So by that, I'm hoping that probably one day that home will be that place that offers us that. And coming to that, probably if you are watching this video and you're diasporan, maybe instead of us really looking into what other people back home can do to attract us, maybe that change should come from me and you. What is it that we are doing to foster that? What is it that we are doing really to encourage the relocation back home? I've doing my part because I'm sharing information. I am my perspective, I'm weighing in on these things. But if you're watching this video and you've got your sentiments, put them in the comments and share with us why or some of the things that you would want to see change before you can relocate back home. So that's all I had for you in this video. If you found it helpful, please give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe. We value you. We want to see you grow. We want to share our journey of believing in the diaspora journey and talking and sharing about success, growth, the ups and downs of the diaspora. The script still is going. The journey is still unfolding in front of our eyes. So join us by subscribing and be a part of this amazing journey. I'll see you in our next video. Bye for now.